The galaxy was burning. For centuries, two great alien empires had fought without end. One was called the Valari Dominion, masters of sharp warships and cold strategy. The other was the Drakth Horde, a brutal race that only believed in strength. From one corner of the stars to the other, they had battled. Planets turned to ash. Cities fell into silence. Generations grew up never knowing peace. The war had lasted so long that no one remembered who had started it. Children asked their parents, "Why do we fight?" And the parents had no answer. The war was simply there, like the air they breathed or the night sky above them. Every peace treaty had failed. Every truce had broken. Both sides hated each other too deeply. Armies rose, armies fell, but still the fire of war kept spreading. Neutral races tried to stay hidden. Some built walls around their systems, hoping the war would pass them by. Others tried to beg for mercy, offering food, resources, or slaves to whichever side came first. But the war did not care. The Valari and the Drakth would fight over everything, even empty rocks in space. It was a war no one could stop. On one ruined world, under a sky filled with smoke, a Valari soldier stood over the body of a Drakth warrior. He was tired, too tired to even celebrate the kill. His hands shook. His armor was broken. All around him, corpses covered the ground. The wind carried the smell of fire and blood. He whispered to himself, "When will this end?" But there was no answer. The Valari Dominion told its people they were close to victory. So did the Drakth Horde, yet both were lying. The truth was simple. Neither side could win. Both were too strong, too stubborn, too proud to surrender. So the war stretched on like a chain with no end. The galaxy watched in silence. Races whispered in fear. Merchants spoke in quiet voices saying, "The war will swallow everything. Nothing will survive." But then, something new began to spread. It started as a rumor. A small, strange species, unknown to most of the galaxy, was said to be watching the war. They came from a single blue planet far away, a place called Earth. At first, no one cared. The humans, as they called themselves, were weak, small, and had no empire. They were ignored, but then stories came. Alien scouts who had gone near human space never returned. Traders who passed through whispered of machines, strange, heavy machines built by human hands. Machines that shook the ground when they walked. Machines that could tear through fleets like paper. Of course, no one believed at first. "Impossible," the Valari general said. "No primitive race can build what we cannot." "Lies," the Drakth lords growled. "Just frightened talk from cowards." But the rumors did not stop. In the black void of space, a broken ship drifted. It had once belonged to an alien scout. Only one thing survived inside, a message. The crew had tried to send it before their ship was torn apart. The recording was short. The voice was shaking with terror. "Machines! They are building machines." Then silence. The galaxy trembled. No one understood what it meant. No one knew if the rumor was true. But the whispers grew louder, echoing from one system to another. Humans are preparing. Humans are building something. They are waiting for the right time. The Valari Dominion ignored it. The Drakth Horde laughed at it. But among the smaller races, among the quiet traders and the hidden refugees, the rumor became a warning. The war no one can stop may soon meet something new. On Earth itself, hidden far from the galaxy's burning battlefields, giant hangars opened beneath mountains. Oceans hid secret bases. Deserts shook as heavy machines tested their weapons. The humans did not speak loudly. They did not send threats or messages. They only prepared in silence, watching as the war tore the stars apart. Some whispered among themselves, "When the time comes, we will unleash them." And so the galaxy continued to burn. Worlds died. Fleets clashed. The Valari and the Drakth fought as they always had, but far away in the shadows, humans were waiting. And what they were building, no one could imagine. The war no one could stop was about to meet its first true challenge. Cliffhanger ending of Part 1. The broken message from the lost scout ship is replayed across a secret council. Machines, they are building machines, and then silence. The galaxy holds its breath. The galaxy had heard the whispers. For months, rumors about humans spread across space. Some laughed, some ignored them, but others listened carefully. Then at last, the day came. It happened on a broken world at the edge of the Valari Dominion. The planet had been ruined by endless war. Smoke filled the air. Ash covered the ground. Two alien armies faced each other in the ruins of a dead city. The Valari forces dug into the broken walls. The Dract charged like beasts roaring for blood. The war raged as it always had, loud, brutal, endless, but then everything stopped. The sky above the battlefield grew dark. A single object entered the atmosphere, cutting through the smoke like a falling star. It landed between the two armies with a thunderous crash, shaking the earth. Soldiers on both sides froze. Even the Dract, who feared nothing, stepped back in silence. From the crater a shape rose. It was not alien. It was not Valari or Dract. It was human. At first, the soldiers did not understand what they were seeing. The figure was not a man, not a woman. It was a machine, tall as a fortress, moving with heavy steps that made the ground tremble. Its body was black steel, its eyes burning with red light. The war had seen tanks, ships, weapons beyond imagining, but this was different. The human machine did not look fragile. It did not look weak. It looked alive. The Valari whispered, "Impossible." The Dract growled, "What is this?" Then the machine spoke. Its voice was deep, calm, steady. "This war ends here." For a moment, the battlefield went silent. Then, one Dract commander laughed and raised his weapon. He fired. The shot exploded against the human machine's armor, harmless, useless. The human machine turned its head. A single strike came from its weapon. The Dract commander and his troops vanished in fire. The Valari could not believe their eyes. The Dract could not believe their fear. Both sides began to fire, emptying their weapons at the machine. But the machine walked forward slowly, as if their guns were nothing more than rain. It crushed walls with its steps. It tore through tanks like paper. Whole squads scattered in terror. One machine, one human machine, and the battlefield that had raged for years ended in minutes. Far above, hidden ships watched. Alien scouts stared with wide eyes, recording everything. They sent messages racing across the galaxy. "It is true," the report said. "The humans have come." Later, in a council chamber light years away, alien leaders argued. The Valari shouted, "We must destroy them before they grow stronger." The Dract roared, "No, we will take their power for ourselves." Others whispered in fear, "If one machine can do this, what happens when humans unleash them all?" But no one knew the answer. Back on the ruined world, survivors hid in silence. They peeked from the rubble, watching the giant machine stand in the middle of the battlefield. It did not chase. It did not kill more. It only stood there, smoke rising from its armor, as if warning both sides. Do not continue. Hours later, smaller human ships landed. From them stepped human soldiers, wearing plain armor and calm faces. The aliens expected them to be proud, arrogant, demanding glory. But the humans were quiet. They moved carefully, helping the wounded, even enemies. They gave water to both Valari and Dract alike. One Valari soldier, broken and confused, asked a human commander, "Why are you here? Why are you helping?" The commander's eyes were steady. His words were simple. "Because if no one stops this war, nothing will survive. We are not here to take sides. We are here to end it." The word spread faster than fire. Across the galaxy, the message reached every race, every system. Humans had arrived. They were not seeking conquest. They were not seeking empire. They had come with their machines. And their machines were built for one purpose, not to win a war, but to end it. Cliffhanger ending of Part 2. In the dark of space, an alien spy watches the first human machine from afar. He whispers into his recorder, his voice shaking, "If this is only one, what happens when they unleash them all?" The stars outside his ship flicker, and in the distance, more human machines begin to move. The galaxy was no longer laughing. For centuries, the Valari Dominion and the Dract Horde had crushed every rival. They had faced rebellions, fleets, even entire civilizations rising against them. Nothing had ever stopped their war. Nothing, until the humans arrived. The first battle had been small, only one human machine on one ruined world. But the images of that day spread faster than light. Fleets carried the recordings. Merchants whispered about it. Refugees told the story again and again. Everywhere the words were the same. One machine ended a war in minutes. At first, the Velari claimed it was an accident, a trick. They told their citizens not to fear. "We are still the strongest," they said. The Dracs laughed at the rumors. "One machine? We will crush it like we crush everything else." But then came the second battle. It happened in space, in the cold black void above a mining colony. The Velari had sent a fleet of 50 warships to take control of the system. The Dracs sent their own ships to fight them. For hours, the two sides clashed, lasers burning, missiles exploding, ships torn apart. The colony below shook as fire rained down from the sky. Then, silence. A new signal entered the system. One human ship appeared, small, unimpressive. The Velari captain laughed when he saw it. The Dracs roared in mockery. But the humans were not there to laugh. From the human ship, 3 war machines launched. They were larger than any starfighter, smaller than warships, but built with thick armor and strange weapons. Their eyes glowed with red fire as they moved into the battlefield. The alien fleets opened fire. Beams and missiles filled the void. But the human machines cut through it all, shields flashing, armor unbroken. One by one they struck. Their weapons were like nothing the galaxy had seen. Beams of light that bent, missiles that tracked ships like hunters, claws that tore through hulls as if they were paper. 50 ships. 2 empires. Hours of battle. And 3 human machines ended it in less than 20 minutes. Across the galaxy, the recordings spread again. Alien leaders sat in silence, watching their greatest weapons fail like toys. Soldiers trembled. Civilians whispered in the dark, "If 3 machines can destroy 50 ships, how many do humans truly have?" But the strangest thing was not their power. It was their purpose. Humans did not conquer the mining colony. They did not raise their own flag. They did not demand tribute. Instead, they left supplies, repaired damaged shelters, and gave food to the survivors, Velari and Drac alike. Then they departed without a word, leaving only silence and fear behind. One Velari officer, who had survived the battle, was taken prisoner by the humans. He expected torture, interrogation, slavery. Instead, he was given water, clean bandages, and freedom to leave. Confused, he asked a human commander, "Why not kill us? Why not claim victory?" The commander answered with calm words, "We are not here to win. We are here to stop you all from destroying the galaxy." And so, fear turned into something else. Not just fear of power, but fear of purpose. If humans were not fighting for empire, then what were they truly fighting for? Weeks passed. More battles erupted across the stars. And in each one, the story was the same. Velari fleets, Drac armies. Endless war, until the humans arrived, and then everything changed. One battlefield saw 1,000 Velari troops charging across the desert, only to be scattered by 5 human machines. Another saw a Drac fleet of warships torn apart by human machines rising from an ocean world, their weapons firing from beneath the waves. The galaxy had seen powerful races before, but never like this, never so unstoppable. Soon, the truth became clear to both empires. Humans were not choosing sides. They were choosing an end. The Velari hated it. The Drac raged against it, but they could not deny it. Everywhere the humans came, the war ended. In the secret halls of power, leaders argued. Velari generals demanded new weapons to counter the machines. Drac warlords shouted for blood and revenge. But deep inside, all of them knew there's no weapon that can stop humans, and so the galaxy trembled. The war no one could stop had finally met something greater. Not an empire, not a fleet, but humanity and their unstoppable force. The war machines. The galaxy had changed. Where once the Velari and Drac destroyed everything in their path, now they were the ones running. Human war machines appeared again and again, ending battles in minutes. Fleets broke apart, armies scattered, but humanity did not build an empire. They did not take planets or demand tribute. They only stopped the fighting. Wherever the machines landed, the war ended. At first, many alien races celebrated. Refugees cheered when humans gave them food. Traders whispered thanks when the machines cleared war from their roots. Whole worlds prayed to the humans as saviors. But the great powers did not feel joy. They felt fear. Inside a Valari War Council, the generals argued. Their machines are unstoppable, one officer said. We cannot fight them directly. Then we must find another way, another replied. If this continues, our empire will collapse. The Valari leader, Grand Strategist Tavor, stood tall and silent. His cold eyes burned with anger. Humans say they want peace, he said at last. But peace is death for us. Without war, the Dominion is nothing. If they end it, they end us. The generals bowed their heads. They all knew he was right. Far across the stars, the Dract Horde held their own meeting. Warlords shouted, smashing their fists against stone tables. Cowards, one roared. We are Dract. We do not bow to machines. Another growled back. Tell that to the fleets already destroyed. Tell that to the warriors who burned beneath human fire. At last, the High Warlord rose. His voice shook the chamber. The humans threaten us all. They steal our honor. They make us weak. If we do not crush them now, the Horde will never rise again. The warlords roared in agreement. For the first time in centuries, their rage was not aimed at the Valari. It was aimed at humans. Whispers spread through the galaxy. For generations, the Valari and Dract had been enemies. They had slaughtered each other, destroyed worlds, burned stars. But now, they began to meet in secret. On a forgotten moon, Valari officers and Dract warlords gathered in the shadows. Their voices were low, filled with hatred but also with fear. This war has lasted forever, said a Valari commander. But if humans succeed, both of our empires will vanish. We cannot defeat them alone, growled a Dract general. But together, the room fell silent. Enemies for centuries, rivals beyond reason. And yet, they were beginning to unite, not against each other, but against humanity. Meanwhile, humanity prepared in silence. Beneath oceans, inside mountains, within deserts, more war machines awoke. Their engines rumbled like thunder. Their weapons glowed in the dark. Human commanders gave no speeches, no warnings. They only prepared. One admiral stood before his officers and said calmly, "The war must end. Even if the galaxy hates us, we will stop it." His voice was steady, but his eyes were heavy. He knew the truth. The more battles they won, the more enemies they created. Among the smaller races, fear grew. Some whispered, "Humans are our saviors." Others whispered, "No, they will become conquerors." Merchants avoided human fleets, afraid to be caught between empires. Refugees prayed that humans would not abandon them. Even allies began to wonder, when the war ends, will humans leave us free, or will they rule instead? Suspicion began to grow like poison. One night on a ruined colony world, a Valari spy crept through the rubble. He watched a human machine stand guard over civilians. He saw the humans giving food, water, and medicine, yet when he returned to his masters, he did not speak of kindness. He twisted the truth. They pretend to help, he lied, but they are only building trust. Soon they will rule all of us. The Valari Council believed him. So did the Dract, and the decision was made. The two great empires, once sworn enemies, joined their fleets in secret. Together they built the largest armada in history. Thousands of ships, millions of soldiers, weapons designed only for one target, Earth. The galaxy waited in silence. For the first time in centuries, the Valari Dominion and the Dract Horde were no longer fighting each other. Their war had stopped, but not because of peace. They had united their fleets for one purpose, to destroy humanity. The largest armada in history moved across the stars. Thousands of warships, millions of soldiers, weapons beyond count, all aimed at one small blue planet, Earth. On worlds far away, people trembled as they heard the news. Merchants whispered, "The humans will fall." Refugees prayed, "Please let them survive." Others asked the same question again and again. If the humans cannot stop this, who can? Deep within Earth's oceans, in mountains, deserts, and even under the ice of the poles, the humans had been waiting. For years, they had built in silence. For months, their machines had stood ready. Now the moment had come. The sky above Earth darkened as the armada arrived. Valari ships sharp and silver, Dract ships black and burning. Together they filled the heavens until the stars themselves disappeared. The alien commanders shouted their victory before the battle even began. Earth will burn. Crush them. End them forever. Millions of weapons locked on the planet. Then, Earth answered, the ocean split open. From the waves, colossal machines rose, taller than skyscrapers, their armor glowing with fire. Mountains trembled as hidden hangars opened, releasing machines that shook the earth with every step. Deserts cracked apart as more machines climbed into the sky. Hundreds, thousands. The war machines had awakened. Their eyes lit the night like red suns. Their engines roared like storms. And together, they lifted their weapons toward the invading fleet. The armada fired first. Beams and missiles rained down on Earth. Explosions tore the sky. The planet shook. But when the smoke cleared, the machines were still standing. Their shields blazed, their armor unbroken. Then humanity unleashed its fire. Beams of energy cut through warships like knives through paper. Missiles streaked across the void, striking targets with deadly precision. Giant cannons fired blasts so powerful they split fleets apart. The galaxy's greatest armada began to die. Valari generals screamed orders, but their fleets shattered. Dract warlords roared in fury, but their ships burned. Thousands of vessels, millions of soldiers, nothing could stand against the tide of human machines. One machine tore through a Valari cruiser, ripping it apart with metal claws. Another rose from the ocean and fired a beam that destroyed an entire Dract formation. Everywhere the machines advanced, unstoppable, unbroken. The war that no one could stop was ending before the galaxy's eyes. But the humans did not fight to conquer. When the Armada's survivors tried to flee, the machines did not chase them. Instead, they destroyed only weapons, only warships. They left escape pods untouched. They let living